Hi.
Hey. Hi. Who are you?
I don't know. What's up?
What are you doing here?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. Stoltz Bros Bible Study, episode 29, back in Studio A. And, what the heck was all that? That was just from that?
No.
Oh.
Somebody showing up their glass pipes on their car.
Oh, I was like, what the? Oh, yeah, okay. All right, man, we got squirrel focus power, don't we?
Yep. That squirrel's running fast, dude.
Yeah.
Making those wheels spin.
Yeah. So today we want to talk about this idea of being persecuted for what you believe in or standing up for what's right. I'll just start with a little story. I once heard of a pastor who took a stand at a church where the deacon was living with somebody out of wedlock, and he confronted the situation. Well, this deacon was wealthy and gave a lot of money to the church, and the church voted to side with the deacon, and the pastor ended up losing his job. And the Bible's very clear that marriage is between a man and woman and a monogamous relationship, and so is the intimacy of that relationship as well. And when the pastor took a stand against that, the church said, "We need the money," instead of doing what's right.
Yep.
And you know, sometimes taking a stand for what's right isn't much fun. This guy named John the Baptist, he paid the ultimate price in this today. So let's jump into this. All right, John 6:14 through 29. So King Herod heard about this for Jesus. Okay, heard about what? He had heard about
Basically, Jesus teaching and preaching and healing.
Yeah, he said, well, if I'd have kept reading, I'd answer my own question. He had become well known. He was what we call, Matt and I called him like rock star status.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson of 1980, just super popular and just everywhere. He couldn't go anywhere because people almost killed him just trying to get to him. I mean, it's crazy. So some people were saying that he was John the Baptist, had been raised from the dead, and that's why miraculous powers were at work. Others say he was Elijah. Old Testament prophecy said that Elijah would come back and, something like that. And he still had the claims that he was a prophet, like one of the prophets of long ago, just like Muhammad and the Muslims say about Jesus now. But when Herod heard this, he said, John, whom I beheaded, has been raised from the dead. He's panicking.
Yeah.
He is panicking.
He's going in his shorts.
Yeah. Because he feared John. He was superstitious, and some of the things that he did, like he married his brother's wife.
Yep.
I don't think that was allowed. I don't think that was the right thing to do.
He did whatever he could to gain power.
He did. Yeah.
He bought things. He killed people.
Yep.
He had no sense of morale.
No, he didn't. And so, for Herod himself had given orders to have John arrested and had him put bound and put in prison. He did this because of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, who he had married. Are we supposed to marry each other's wives?
No. I don't think I'd want to.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
I didn't mean anything about
no.
brothers' wives, but yeah.
But anyway, because God said one person for life, Adam and Eve.
Yep. So death do you part.
Right. Joseph and Mary. I don't know if Peter had a wife.
I would say something, but I'd probably get in trouble. So.
Oh yeah, your wife is going to throw a distance, obviously. It might be a good idea not to. So John had been saying it is not lawful for you to have your brother's life. So that's where he's taking a stand. He's saying it's wrong, Herod. And Herod he appreciated John, he respected John, and that's why he only had him arrested initially and not beheaded.
Right.
And so what was John's status, Matt? You want to give us a sound effect for that? Exactly. So Herod's wife, Herodias, she was upset because Herod feared John and protected him, knowing that he listen, this is really cool to him, to be a righteous and holy man. When Herod heard John, he was greatly puzzled, yet he liked to listen to it. Something that
basically he feared John.
He did, but I also think he might have felt convicted by John because look, it said he was righteous and holy. And when we get around other believers, when we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, it can hit us.
Yep.
And that's besides the point. So finally, the opportune time came. Uh-oh. This doesn't sound too good, does it?
Nope.
You got one for that?
Oh, random one.
Yep, that's about right. And so finally, on his birthday, Herod had a banquet for his high officials and military commanders, and the leading men of Galilee. So when the daughter Herodias came in and danced, she pleased Herod and his dinner dish. So I don't know if it's like a Christmas party. Y'all come in, we'll celebrate the good year or whatever. But he felt this need to throw a dinner for him to show appreciation and things like that. And let's be very clear. Herodias must have been a foxy girl, and the dance that she did was probably pretty explicit.
Yeah.
Man, should we edit that part out? I'm just kidding. But yeah, so it wasn't just a regular dance. It was a very sensual dance. And for man, that is very appealing. All right. So much so that he says this: ask me for anything you want and I will give it to you. And he promised her an oath: whatever you ask, I will give you up to half my kingdom. Some people say that was a hyperbole, but whatever the case was, it was a big promise. And not only was it a promise, it was an oath. It was legally binding, and he had to keep it. And so she went out to her mom and says, "Mommy," I didn't say that. I said, she went out to her mom and said, "What shall I ask for?" And then mom knew, Herodias. She said, "The head of John the Baptist," she answered. At the once, the girl hurried into the king with the request, "I want you to give me right now the head of John the Baptist on a platter." And the king was greatly distressed, but because of his oaths, I want you to notice it's because of his oaths and his dinner gifts, he did not want to refuse her. So he immediately sent an executioner with orders to bring John's head, and the man went, beheaded John in the prison, and brought back his head on a platter. He presented it to a girl, and she gave it to her mother. On hearing this, John's disciples came, took his body, and laid it in the tomb.
Who do you fear the most? God, or your wife and friends, or your daughter and friends?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, they were, don't get me wrong, these were probably people of power that if they got together, they might be able to knock him off. But in the end, he knew that it was wrong to kill John the Baptist.
In my years of doing youth ministry, it was always the same thing. My students were afraid of what their friends are going to think if they know that they're a Christian, versus of being a Christian and shouting it out. I mean, I used to go to the high schools and junior high schools to visit my students. And the more we did it, my wife also joined me and a couple other people, but the more we did it, the more we became known, hey, that's a pastor from such and such church. The more we did it, some of our students loved it that we visited, and they had no problem hanging out like, yeah, we go to this church, yeah, we love God. You know, they do that in front of us. But then they do it when we're not around. But yet we had some students who'd be like, yeah, hey, hi. You know, they turn their head like, like kind of, I want you around me. I don't want you around me.
Right.
And when they get in the youth group, they were a different tone. So I kind of see that as Herod today. You know, who you going to trust? Are you worried about? You going to worry more about what your friends think of you because you're a Christian or you follow God, or are you going to worry more about what God thinks of you?
Right.
So,
well, and let's flip the card. John, what did he think more of? He thought more of what God stood for and what was right. So he, knowing he'd taken a great risk, made a stance, and he told Herod, he said, no, that's not right. You know who else I think of? Samuel confronting David about Bathsheba.
yeah.
That, man, I mean, God all calls us to take a stand for him and to, you know, and that's a good question. Are we going to be a John or are we going to be a Herod? I mean, that, and even where I work now, but it's a struggle sometimes.
To clarify, it's not only students or teenagers.
No.
It's about everybody.
I work on a small office, 25, 30 people, and it's hard for me. Hard for me sometimes to zip my lips when I shouldn't be, or say what's inappropriate sometimes. And you know, even in the little things there, but even on the bigger things, what you do in the little things shows up in the bigger things though too.
Yep.
And here's the thing though, Jesus didn't say that we were gonna get saved and be problem free or anything like that. Matt remembered the scripture, Matthew 5:11-12. It says, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of what? Because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." But go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
If you are a Christian and you walk like a Christian, talk like a Christian, live like a Christian, and do what we're supposed to do, we're going to have targets on our back.
Yep. But he said we are blessed like the prophets before us. Think about that.
Persecuted.
Moses, Samuel, Isaiah, Isaac. We're in the same league because we take a stand up for God. I mean, I'm not going to say we're in the same league as Jesus, but his
Right.
disciples,
Right. Yeah.
So,
That's a good point. That they persecuted the prophets who were before you. It's an ongoing thing. It hasn't stopped. But at the same time, man, wow, I'm in the same league as Moses because Pharaoh persecuted him.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you read the Bible, every prophet, every disciple, everyone who stood up for Jesus or God was persecuted.
I mean, Jeremiah was thrown down a well by his own people.
And look at all the suffering that the Israelites took from Pharaoh.
Yeah, right. I mean, and so it's part of being a believer, and there's no way around it. But once again, we went to that Matthew 28:20. What was that one verse that said again? "I'm with you to the very end of the ages." And even in Philippians chapter 4, there's a little bit of persecution going on there. They're having some trouble. Paul says, "With everything by prayer and petition, present your request to God."
Yeah, and I think Philippians 4:13.
Yeah,
I do all things through him who.
It gives me strength.
Yep.
Yep. And so here's the thing, that God, when he calls us, he doesn't call us to stand alone. He calls us to stand with him, to stand for him. And he's right there beside us, like hooking our arm, holding it. And that's the thing. So next time that opportunity comes up, what kind of stand are we going to take?
Complete stand, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, hey, Stoltz Bros episode number 29. Thanks for joining us.